the chair of House Homeland Security, Congressman Mark Green. Congressman, it's a pleasure and congratulations on your appointment. So you just heard that
Thanks,
report. They are violating U.S. airspace, U.S. sovereignty, international law. Why not just shoot it down as soon as it was trying to cross into our airspace? We look incredibly weak to the world.
Yeah, I can't think of a reason why they shouldn't have shot it down. And you might recall several years ago when a U.S. spy plane was in international waters. Now, that's a debatable thing with China, but it was in international waters. A Chinese aircraft rammed it. It had to crash land. They seized not only the aircraft, they seized the people and kept them for a considerable amount of time. I mean, this is unacceptable that we're just allowing this thing to traipse across the United States. It's unconscionable.
You know, we took a Twitter poll of our viewers. 93% say shoot it down. I mean, this is a major security blunder. How did it enter our airspace? There are trillions of dollars spent on national defense, defeated by a balloon. Elon Musk can plant a rocket on a buoy in the ocean. We don't know how to conduct and control deflation and descent of this balloon.
I wouldn't say that. I just think it's an issue of the will of this DOD and this president. They could bring this thing down. They could have brought this thing down over the Aleutians. There is no reason why it's still in the sky other than our president seems to think that's okay. It's insane.
And we look weak to the world. Here's more of what happened today. Let's listen to what happened today. Watch this.
Mr. President, when and how will you remember the balloon? When and how will you remember the balloon, Mr. President?
First of all, we are aware of the PRC's statement. However, the fact is we know that it's a surveillance balloon, and I'm not going to be able to be more specific than that. We assess that it does not pose a risk to people on the ground as it currently is traversing the continental United States.
I understand it might be inconvenient, but does the public not have a right to know if a balloon
the public
is over their
certainly
state?
has the ability to look up in the sky and see where the balloon is.
Okay, so is it picking up signals? Is it getting information about our intercontinental ballistic missiles, the Minutemen? It's in Missouri, it's moving through Kansas. I mean, so when you look at this thing and what's going on, it's over farmland. They could shoot it where the debris wouldn't hit anybody. By the way, what does China want? China cannot grow crops on nearly about 90% of its land. Why is China looking at U.S. farmland?
Look, there are a lot of reasons why China is driving a balloon across the United States, not only just what they're going to look at, but to look at how we respond. I think most of this is a test of Joe Biden, and he's failed. The weakness, once again, from this president is only eliciting further aggression
Why is he
from the
not
folks
acting?
that are our enemies.
Why is he not acting?
I don't understand. I don't know if he's got some, fantasy that he can get some negotiated agreement with China not to violate the rules-based international order, but that is clearly a fallacy. He's living in a la-la land if he thinks he's going to come, treat these guys nice, and they're going to suddenly become nice. They're not. I mean, you look at the actions China has taken in the past. They are an enemy of the United States in many ways, and we've got to stand up to it, and this president is too weak to do so.
They're doing a deliberate act of provocation. Are they doing
Absolutely.
Are they doing it to test us, to see how we would respond? So if we don't respond, we're probably not going to respond either if China invades Taiwan?
So think about what the Department of Defense just said. They just said that they're not allowing it to transmit. Well, that in and of itself is a test of our capabilities. So absolutely they are testing us. And they're getting the information that they want, or some of the information they want, for sure.
I mean, they have satellites, but it's interesting that they're, it's a balloon. I mean, U.S. military jets reported circling this balloon. The Pentagon reportedly saying it acted immediately, as we just heard, to stop the collection of sensitive information. But do you trust that?
I do trust that we have some incredible capabilities, none of which I want to go into on national television, but I will say this: as we act, the Chinese become aware of our capabilities, and we should never have gotten over the United States.
So, Chairman, a memo by U.S. Air Force General Michael Minahan, first reported by NBC last week, warned that his gut tells him to be ready for war with China, and not just in theory, but in 2 years' time. So in light of that, what would you want the White House to do now? What would you tell it?
At this point, they got to find a way to get that balloon down and find out what's in it. That's what they have to do. We have to know exactly the equipment that's on it, what the Chinese have seen, and what's been sent back to China. We have to know what they now know because of this balloon.
What are you most worried about?
Well, clearly they flew the thing over our nuclear sites. Those are critical national security resources that hopefully weren't mapped.
Well, we'll stay on the story, Chairman.